Look at that dog. Take a picture of that.
All right. Welcome back to the Dude Brothers podcast. We're going to continue on the surviving horror issue. This time we're talking about the great 1985 classic, The Return of the Living Dead. Or
as I like to refer to that movie, the brain-eating zombies. Because I'm sure if you're a zombie fan, you know what we're talking about. But you always hear, brain-eating zombies. Zombies are after your brain. Return of the Living Dead was the only movie where zombies were after brains. Before that,
they were flesh-eating.
They were flesh-eating zombies. They just wanted to eat you.
To this day, they're brain.
You always hear brains,
Yep.
brains. I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that they talked. No other movie talked. So that was the first time you would see a zombie. Like if you dressed up as a zombie for Halloween,
you just moan.
You would moan. But after that movie, if
They
you wanted
talk.
somebody to think you were a zombie, you would moan and say brains, So, Return of the Living Dead really could be called the brain zombies.
Right.
Just a little fun fact. I mean, like I said, most people, nowadays people know that, but it's just amazing how many people...
Not all do.
Yeah, how many people say zombies eat brains, and it's because of that movie.
All right, well, in this episode, we're going to examine what they refer to, and I'm going to say, the mortician. In the movie, they go to a mortician to cremate the body. Now, in that movie, that mortician is played by the actor Don Calfa, who most people might know from Weekend at Bernie's, and he was in a lot of classic movies.
Yeah, good call.
Now, one fact I think most people don't know about that we caught on to is that the imagery in the mortician's, workplace is some Nazi stuff.
Yeah, we noticed there's definitely some connections between that mortician and Return of the Living Dead. Definitely references the fact that he is a Nazi.
One, we have his gun, which is a Luger.
Typical of Nazis.
You may say, well, he could just own one of those.
Those are very expensive and hard to get.
Rare.
Right.
Now, one thing...
And they're synonymous with Nazis.
Yeah.
If you're going to make a movie and a Nazi has a gun, he's going to have a Luger.
That's right. So, you could take it on, okay, but he also did carry it everywhere. He had a freaking holster while he was in there before zombies or anything.
Yeah, before he knew
zombies
walking
around
existed,
with it.
he had the gun on the ready. So why is he prepared with a gun?
That's right. Now, one of the biggest things, and we noticed this over time, and maybe one or two people have talked about it, in the mortician's office is a picture on the wall of Ava Braun.
And we all know that. Hitler's girlfriend, and, he married her the last day of his life. He married Ava Braun.
Right.
So, yeah, but that picture is seen in the mortician's office. So we got him with a Luger gun, synonymous with Nazis, and a picture of Ava Braun. Another interesting fact about the mortician is, what is his job? As dark and as, cryptic and as sad as this fact might be, is he burns bodies. He's the cremator. The reason they go to him with the bags of the body parts that they can't kill, because in this movie, stabbing him in the head doesn't matter. You can't, if you cut off the hand runs off. So they take it to the mortician. They tell him it's a bag of cats because the bags are moving. And, I think they say it's a bag of cats or raccoons, maybe?
Rabid weasels.
Okay, good call. It's been a while. And
when I was looking up info in the movie, I
knew they made up.
They told him.
Right. But the reason they took him there is because he has a crematorium and he burns bodies. So you have somebody with a Nazi weapon, Ava Braun's picture on the wall, and he cremates bodies. This is all very, very suspicious,
Well, allow me to blow everybody's mind here, because this blew my mind. Now, the character in the movie, he says, they always call him Ernie. Now, well, they don't really, I don't think, ever mention his last name in the movie. But, if you look it up, his last name is Kaltenberner. Okay? Now, that might mean nothing. It didn't till I did a little more research. But what came up almost immediately when I was looking up this info was a Nazi SS officer called Ernst Kaltburn.
Are you serious?
Came up.
Holy shit! This is news to me. This is news to me.
Yeah, it's spelled the same, but it's Ernst instead of Ernie.
Wow!
And it came up like as the next thing when you look him up.
Holy crap! Because in the movie, I kind of knew him as Ernie. I never really paid attention to his name.
I think that's all they say.
I never paid attention to his name. Wow!
Yeah. So it came up right away. Like apparently they wanted to do that, and he was one of those awful SS people who just didn't care.
Went above and beyond.
Like him, we were like, yes, like I'm going to go all out.
Holy crap.
That came up. Same last name, Ernst instead of Ernie. Now, they didn't say like he's a descendant, but maybe.
Or he's the guy. I mean, they always say people, I mean.
Think, by the way, the guy who plays, the actor who's playing Ernie doesn't have blonde hair, but he has blonde hair in the movie. They dyed his hair blonde.
Oh wow!
I think it's an Aryan reference.
Right.
In real life, he's a brown haired guy. Like
right. Wow. That's a big one. Because I've always known about the Eva Braun picture. I've always known about the Luger gun. That was, an '80s movie to have a Luger gun's out of place.
By the way, he's a mortician with a gun on his side.
Yeah.
A holster, leather holster.
It's almost like if any minute somebody comes in and takes him away, he's ready. Like, why would you have a gun on your side?
And this leads into one of the facts that we, Max and ChuBs, like to talk about. When they have the zombie strapped down and they're talking to her, she makes the point of they eat brains because it stops the pain. And they ask, what pain? The pain of death. And immediately, Ernie goes, oh, it hurts to be dead. He seems the most upset.
Yeah.
As in, oh.
As in, he caused a lot of death.
Because in the movie takes place in '85.
Right.
He could have been in the war and be.
Oh, definitely.
50,
he would be about the right age in the 80s.
Right. They never give ages for these people except the kids.
But the movie is very 80s.
Oh, the punks.
Right.
The music they play.
There's no way
punk.
it didn't take place in the 80s.
Right.
You know?
Well, besides the punks, like you have the guy in a sports coat.
Yeah.
Who gets with the girl with the green?
Now, if you want to get a little sidetracked, it's nothing to do with Nazis, but in the movie, when the scene, where the zombies all run in on the cop cars, the zombies can talk in this one, which is very odd for zombie movies. They say brains, which catapulted the fact of zombie eating brains. But there's a scene where one of the zombies picks up the
CB radio.
The CB radio, it's back in the 80s when he had CB radio, picks up the CB radio and says, send more cops. Very awesome scene. One of our favorites, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But if you look at that scene, now this is zombies that came out of the graveyard. So this is zombies that have been buried. The zombie who says, send more cops, is clearly in a Confederate uniform. Clearly. So...
It's gray. You can't.
It's gray and yellow. It's a Confederate uniform. Yeah. It's just very, So is this the most anti-Semitic zombie movie?
They're pointing out the most. Like he could have
odd.
been anything. He could have been any kind of zombie, but he's an old Confederate soldier.
Right.
Actually, he looks like a general almost. Like he has decorations.
And a little fun fact: we always joke about if he's a Confederate soldier, how the hell does he know how to work a CB radio and say cops? There was no cops. He's a So but he's in a Civil War uniform. Maybe it was a Civil War reenactor who died, but I doubt it. I think they clearly...
but they went out their way.
Right, they definitely made the point to... the Nazi guy, with the name, which I just learned about,
I just learned looking it up.
That's crazy.
They made it so close.
Yeah.
They didn't change the name completely. No, it's Ernst to Ernie, the same last name. But throughout the movie, it's Ernie, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And... just to point out, it might not have anything to do with it, but when Ernie and the girl in the movie is trapped in the attic, he doesn't hesitate to put the gun by the girl's head.
Yeah.
Now, that's an act of, I'm going to not let this girl be eaten by a boyfriend. But he's like, oh, I got it. And
You almost get the feeling that he's killed before.
Yeah, because when they bring up the rabbit weasel thing, he's like, oh, well, this is cruel to burn him alive. And he pulls out the gun. And he's like, I can take care of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has... But I always say, why has a mortician got a leather holster for his Luger sitting on there? But we always notice the picture, and as a kid, you don't think, well, that's Ava Braun. But it's clearly
but no, years of seeing World War II documentaries, that picture comes up, and he's got the picture on the wall. I mean...
Yeah, we know who she is.
Yeah, that's just...
And I'm going to go back and keep looking. Like, we're going to have to watch the movie again. We've seen it a million times.
Mm-hmm.
But look on the walls, see what else is there. One thing looks like a target practice target. Yeah. Who knows? And I like to point out, most people, like zombies, we watch zombie movies when they were cliche, like before cliche, like they were funny when we were kids.
We watched zombie movies when it was like 6 zombie movies.
Yes.
Now there's 510 million. I mean, they probably made 20 zombie movies today.
That's right.
But at one point, there was like 6 zombie movies. Even if you looked up the old Italian zombie movies, there was like 6 zombie movies, But, I mean, we're going to get into those, Like I said, if anybody wants to bring up a movie we'll talk about, because we have a very extensive knowledge and collection of zombie movies.
We've been to a house used in a zombie movie, which we're going to surprise y'all later with that. But I'd like to point out that Return of the Living Dead has to be the most bleak zombie movie, because there's no way to kill them.
No.
And they use a nuclear weapon
on their own people,
which turns around and makes shows. It doesn't show later, but it turns it against the world.
That's the most depressing zombie.
There's no way out.
Right, it's over.
And you're going to be eaten alive with your brain scooped out of your goddamn head.
If you'll be killed by the nuclear explosion.
Right.
That's the good part.
And when they show I call her the main punk girl who gets naked, who was in also Demon, Night of the Demon.
Yes.
Famous. She's awesome and hot. Still goes around the circuit.
By the zombies.
But when they have the line of cops and they start shooting and it doesn't matter, when she goes to eat the main cop, her face is almost demon, like extended mouth.
Yeah.
She's not just a zombie, but almost like
vampire. Right.
Which, by the way, we'll do that too. We were into vampires and werewolves before they were the big deal,
Mm-hmm.
But zombies were a joke when we were kids. Vampires...
Yeah, when we were little, zombies were like B movies, goofy, a joke.
Yeah.
A joke, basically,
Although Night of the Living Dead, the black and white had come out. It wasn't until, the late 90s, early 2000s, they remade that in color. Yeah. Okay? Which was awesome. They did a great job, because they did it almost panel for panel. You had a African-American protagonist and a woman who survived. Mm-hmm. And in that movie, humans win.
Right.
At the end, they show that they won.
You have hope.
Yeah, and you can run by them. They're slow. The walkers, as anybody would say now.
I mean, Return of the Living Dead has such iconic... I mean, like I said, we can't say it enough. I mean, brain-eating zombies.
They
you
run.
always hear that. They're fast.
They sprint.
First time, I think they were fast. The fact that they ate brains, and now you always hear zombies eating brains. That's like a common phrase, but just because of that one movie, and
they exist in any form. You get the Tar Man, as they call him. He could talk.
I'm glad that's what I was thinking of. The Tar Man zombie, because he came out the barrel.
He was the one who apparently came out the barrel.
And
beware of 50-gallon drums.
Yes,
and you can buy that as a statuette now.
I always wanted to make one.
But yeah, he was nothing but like a skull with eyes, and he could talk. He had a tongue.
Mm-hmm.
But also, by the way, they could bite through your skull apparently, because they get into the paramedic's brain.
Yeah,
they have the little person.
Yeah,
which is scary enough when he jumps up.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't need to be there. That the soldier and that they made it a point. But the woman zombie they talk to is just from the waist up, skeleton with hair. They put boobs on her for some weird reason, but she could talk perfectly, understood them, and answered them. And as you watch the two, Frank and the other guy turn through the movie, he makes it clear, like, I can smell your brains. Like, it's horrible what they go through. Like, when you change, it's not like, oh, you get bit, you turn around, they're a zombie.
It's going to be opening a can of worms. I don't want to go into it here, but the fact that, like, Return of the Living Dead and the other movie with the same guys. And...
It's Return 2.
Okay.
They make no attempt to clear that up.
Yeah, because that's a whole other... I mean, we can talk another hour about that, so let's not get into it, but that'll be another video.
It's like the multiverse of that movie.
Yeah, because it's the same guys and everything,
But in that movie, I will say...
We're going to have to go and see if he's a Nazi in that movie. I don't remember seeing anything. But I wasn't looking for it, I mean...
Yeah.
If we go back and look for it...
How much transfers over? Because the drums are in it. Like, they find... The kid stumbles across the drums. But in that movie, I think it's the kid puts a screwdriver into the zombie's head. He goes, get the screwdriver out of my head. So, he feels it. He doesn't like it.
We got to look, too, is... I mean, it's easy enough to find out. We're not going to do it now, but the drums that they keep the zombies in, because when they lose one, they have a name for...
Easter eggs.
Really?
Well, the general in the movie, in Return, says, like, we found the Easter egg, sir.
Good call.
To somebody...
Okay. No, that's what I'm thinking.
Because he's looking for him the whole time.
But on the drums in both of the movies, they say, if found, call.
There's a phone number. Which he calls in the movie.
Right. But when you call that number...
Wasn't it a real number, like not 555?
I'm not sure about that.
We'll have to look.
We'll have to look. But the thing is, when you call that number, they send a nuke to your fucking location.
Yeah, they know not to even go.
Right, yeah. If you call them and say, look, hey, I read this number on the drum, I found one of your drums and it's leaking. They're like, oh, okay, great, we're sending help. And they send a nuclear fucking bomb your way,
That's right. There you go, folks. There's just a little bit so you can go on your own, look it up.
Yeah.
Look for any clues. Let us know.
And look for our next video, because we're going to get into the other movies more. This one we just wanted to touch on the Mortician. It's very crazy. Let us know if you see anything we missed,
This is part of our surviving horror, where we look at little things in and outside the movies that sometimes connect to the real world, as we found out. But, yeah, we're going to keep going and... Come back anytime, ask us any questions. This is Max and Chubbs, the Dude Brothers. Over and out.
Peace.